Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I don't know why I just laugh at the beginning of my videos, but I find that it's interesting trying to discuss something new with you guys. Do I use the word guys? I feel like tribes, like love is tribe. All my tribes are ballers, all my tribes are ballers. I'm so excited to be doing this video today. It's a lovely day, sunny, and the weather is cool, warm, and so nice. Seeing this baby girl's face for the first time, you're seeing this pretty face for the first time, you're welcome here. And if you're my old subscribers, you're my family, guys. I appreciate you for always coming back to watch my videos when I post them, and commenting, liking, and sharing my videos. Thank you guys, I appreciate. Please, if you have not subscribed and you're just seeing this video for the first time, please use the subscribe button below and subscribe. I would appreciate you guys if you share my videos, if you comment, you engage in my videos. I would really appreciate it. So on today's video, I am going to be talking about childcare in the UK, and I don't want to just make the case study about UK, but basically I want to talk about childcare, how it affects our mental health as parents. I don't know if you understand me. So for me, I'm going to be using myself as a case study. So this video is going to be about using myself as a case study. I don't want you to see this video and just pass. Oh, it does not affect me. I'm not a parent yet. I'm not married yet. One day you'll be a parent and you will get married. You have kids. You understand? So basically this video is for everyone, every mother, every father, you know. So I'm going to be using myself as a case study about childcare and how I'm able to find my way around it. So I know when I started a job in like 2 years ago, I just had my baby, and you know, Omugo had to invite my mom. She came, and at that period while she was around, I got a job, a 9-to-5 job, which I was doing perfectly well because she was always around looking after my toddler and the newborn. And I could go out in the morning, come back in the evening. She has done everything. She has prepared food. She is taking care of my kids, bathing them, putting them to bed. So what I just come back, what I do when I get back from work is just sleep, and wake up the next morning, the same routine. When she was around, childcare was really easy for me. If you're living in the UK, I don't know if you can relate to whatever it is I am saying now. Childcare in the UK is very difficult. I don't know how other race have 5 kids. Like I have a neighbor who is studying PhD. She has 5 kids, and I can see how stressed, terrifying she is. At a point, she had to invite her mom, who stayed with her for over 1 year. You know, but we Africans that have parents back home, because they can't live with us that long because of our visa, and they can't even stay long with us because they have other commitments back home. So for mine was staying for 3 months with me, and that 3 months was so easy for me. I could go on a date with my husband weekends. We could all hang out and do different things particularly. But when she was leaving, that was when life started for me. You know, I didn't know how to cope, and stress really just gets to me easily, you know. So I started looking for a childminder, and if you are living in the UK or any part of the world, you know that childminders are very expensive. You getting a childminder is like you working and giving all your salary to a childminder. At first, we wanted to try a childminder and see how we can juggle around it. But when we found a childminder, we got recommendations from people who had used childminders, and some charged them £8 per hour. But when we found those ones, they told us they were not available, or they had more than 1 kid they had to look out for. So we just ruled out away from our plan. Then we went online to council website, and we started looking for childminders. I think I saw Yopis website, I had to register. I started looking for a childminder around my region. So I think the least of a childminder I could get at that time was £20 per hour, and I have 2 children. So if I'm paying £20 for one child and £20 for another child, that's £40 per hour. And at that time, my first baby was just 2 years, and he hasn't even got into nursery. And you know, putting a child in nursery in this country is expensive. It's just more like getting a childminder. So we said, okay, let's look for, and we started reading their biography, their experience. I think I wanted someone who was in the same race with me, like a black African. But at the time, I told myself I should focus more on someone who is experienced than someone who is just my type, because I don't want to patronize my type or my race, and at the end of the day I'm disappointed, you know. So we got someone who was a white person, and she was looking after my child, you know. £20 per hour. I know the exchange rate now is like crazy than like how it was in back then. I know I had to bring out, like, I was paying, I think I leave in at 9 and leave my kids with my husband, then he leaves later, maybe 12, to school. From that time to when I will get back by 5, I was paying £20 per hour. So imagine how much I am paying every day of the week, 5 days of the week, for a month. How much, you know, that I would have coughed out to this childminder. At a point, we found out that when I get my salary at the end of the month, I had to stroke out money for childminder. I had to stroke out money for foodstuffs in the house, rent. I'm left with nothing. Like, I am left with nothing, no savings. We all in the UK, we know that bills are what sucks our money. Bills and tax. You are working like 40 hours in a week. When you receive your pay, they've taken half of your money. It's just like you're working for the queen, you know. So when we got the childminder for two months, we told myself and my husband, we had to sit down and re-strategize again. Like, what can we do? What sacrifice can we do? And I'm so happy that in this country, they bring your kids first. So if you are working with an organization and you tell them that you are struggling with we are struggling with childcare, they will give you options on how to do. If you're going to reduce your hours of work, or you get a nursery close to your place of work, things like that. And my own case was not like that. So my husband had to be staying with kids, you know. And it got to a point where it was affecting his research. He couldn't concentrate more on his research, and me on my own, I couldn't concentrate more at work, because I have to call and know how they are doing and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, we went back to square one. Like, what happens? Like, how are we going to do it? We can't invite my mom back again, because she has children and she has husband, she has business, she's committed back home. So bringing her back is not an option. My mother-in-law, she has work, she's schooling, she has husband, her commitment is engaged as well. So all those possible people were all ruled out. So it's just me and my husband. And this job, I have just gotten it for like 3 months, 4 months. I did not want to quit the job yet. At least let me have a 1-year experience, you know. So we went back to the childminder, because my husband was lacking behind. When he's with the children, they don't sleep, they play around, and he has to look after for them. So we had to go back to the childminder. We found out that we were spending more than £1,000 for a childminder. Do you know what £1,000 can do for myself and my family here in the UK? We started spending money, and it's so difficult, because once you start, it's not easy for you to stop, because one, you have a job, and that kind of having someone to look after your children takes away the stress from you. Then I had to quit my job at a point, then get a more flexible job You know what I mean? So we found ourselves doing this thing. And childcare in the UK, I just want to use the UK. Childcare in the UK is very stressful. Sometimes when you come back from work, you are doing this one, you are doing the other one, you are engaged, you don't even have time for yourself. I cannot remember the last time I had a proper sleep. Do you know what proper sleep? I cannot remember the last time myself and my husband sat down and cuddled. We stay in a flat, and my kids have their own rooms, but then we find out in the middle of the night, when myself and my husband are sleeping in our room, they are you see like little shadows in your room. If you're not careful, you will run out of your body, your skin. They will come in the middle of the night when you are sleeping, when you least expect it. When they come and they just sit down, or they come and climb and enter in between your husband and my husband. And the other one, like sometimes they come and one is at the front, one is at the back. And I'm like, who is there? They call, they say, it's me. I'm scared, I can't sleep. And at the end of the day, they sleep in our room till the next morning. Sometimes me and my husband will plan a date to watch film on Netflix. From the beginning of the film, we already started sleeping, because the whole day taking care of a child has really stressed us out, physically, emotionally. Sometimes we don't even have these attachments for husband, as in is my husband, is my wife, you know. That kind of attachment has really gone, because we can't see ourselves doing the things that we need to do as husband and wife. I know in this situation, I have people who are in Nigeria. Like, if I was in Nigeria, I would just simply take my kids on Friday after school to my parents' place. I can pick them up on Sunday evening. Then that gives me room to have time for myself as a person, as a mother, as a human being, you know. And that gives me time to bond with my husband. Because sometimes we want to discuss certain things, we just find ourselves sleeping. We've not even gone halfway into the gist. Sometimes when we want to even sleep at night, like husband and wife moments, like kiss, make out and all that, no mood again, because one person has come to change the atmosphere, the other one has come, and everything just ends. Sometimes it's really difficult. I don't know if there are people who go through these things, and this really puts stress on our mental health as parents. And I know as a parent, you need to be sound, like stand upstairs to be able to look out for these children. So what we started doing was, we found out that we were very stressed. We started putting pressure on ourselves, like little things we argue, you know, because it's overwhelming as a parent to look after 2 kids. And this, I don't even know if girls, like a girl child, is even more stressful than a boy child, because I haven't experienced the girl child aspect, because I have 2 boys and I know they are warriors. They have strength, they have power too. You see them running up and down, and you feel like you that is even old, like you that is older than them, you don't even have that strength. So what we did, me and my husband, we had to think and strategize. Some weekends, my husband goes to spend time with his friends, like unwind, just do something, and he comes back before Monday. I myself, I go out with the girls, have a drink, club, do some things ordinarily, just to get away. And when I leave, like we had to share we had to give ourselves days. So if this weekend I'm going out, or I'm going to stay out with my friends, or sleep over at my friends, my husband has to look after the children. The day he's going, I look after the children. We had to keep our securities aside. We didn't even want to mind if someone is asking you out, you know, because our mental health is more important to us as a parent. You have to look after yourself. You say you're a mother, you want to look after your children. These children will be fine. Yes. Because if you are stressed as a parent, you are automatically not taking care of your child, because you find out that you start saying silly words to this child. You find out that you start snapping out. Maybe when your child says when your child says, "Mom, I want this," and you say no, and the child insists that he or she wants it, and you just like, "Oh, leave there! Oh, leave there!" You know, when you're supposed to be calm, like, you can't have this. This is why you cannot have it at this time. Try to chop. You find out that you're already snapping out because you are stressed as a mother. You haven't had time for yourself. Sometimes, if I can't hang out with the girls, I go and rent an Airbnb. I go and rent an Airbnb, and I stay for 2 days just to cool off. Stay out from the kids. This, you will miss them, yes, but you need to be sound upstairs to be able to know that you are here for these children. Because when you fall down, when you are sick, when you are mentally stressed, these children, you cannot look after them. Just as you are trying to be a good mom to them, these children want to have a sound mom. You know, and I don't know, co-parenting, people say co-parenting is when you and your husband is apart. My dear, it's a big lie. You and your husband don't have to be apart or have to be separated for two of you to co-parent. No, as a mother, if you're watching this video, don't feel that because you're in your husband's house you want to do the whole job. I used to be like that before. I am cleaning here, I am cleaning there, I am doing that, I'm bathing, I'm doing. No, one day I sat my husband down. I said, "Look at me. Can you see me? Was I like this when I got married? You cannot leave everything for me, even if you are trying. You cannot leave everything for me. We have to create time for ourselves. We have to create time for ourselves as couple. We have to create time for ourselves as parents to be able to do things functionally." What we started doing, when it's time to bathe the children, my husband will bathe them or I bathe them. After I finish bathing them, when I bathe one, I give it to him. I sit that one up. Then I take over to the other one. I bathe the other one and he does the same. You know, at that time, you are not stressed. The other person is not stressed. It becomes a teamwork. It becomes co-parenting. When I do assignments, when my son comes back home from school with an assignment, sometimes I do it. Some days I do it. Maybe my husband is too engaged. I do it. Sometimes when I'm engaged, he does it. But sometimes when we are not fully engaged, what we do is he sits down as a pupil. My other son sits down. I am the one who is teaching my 3-year-old son. I start reading, you know, and that really helped our son. If you're a parent as well and your child is struggling with is lacking behind, and they've told you in school that he's lacking behind, I think you should try this if it will work for you. So what we do, I stopped, because at the time I started teaching, when we were teaching my child, like, you sit down and I'm teaching him personally, he was not paying attention. Because one, he's thinking my brother is playing with that toy there. My father is playing with my other brother, you know. So I started engaging everybody in the house. So everybody sits down on a chair, and if I'm the one teaching, I'm teaching, but I make sure he's at the front. And when I'm saying, okay, I'm teaching about, maybe I'm singing a song for him that he needs to know the names, or the names of the animals, I ask my husband, what animal is this? And he says, and I ask my little boy, the youngest one, what is this? And he says, and I ask him. Then he knows that he's not alone in learning, just as he is in school. Because if you are teaching him alone at home, I don't know if it applies to all children, but I'm just saying what works for me, or what it is I have noticed. You know, when they go to school, they are with other children. you know. But when they come home, we are trying to force a child who has been learning with other children to now learn alone. It becomes difficult for that child. So for me, I try to engage my husband, I try to engage my youngest son, and I try to engage the eldest one. And even if the other people are not, my youngest son is not making sense, my husband, myself, and him has to make sense. But I try to make sure that he is not alone in learning, you know, and I'm not trying to put pressure on him. Sometimes when he gets something right, my husband and my other son, they clap for him. Sometimes when I know that I ask my husband a question and he gets the question right, I ask my son and the other one to clap. So that is how we're able to engage, and how you co-parent. Don't say because he is the woman, he's the man, you will leave home assignments for that particular parent. No, all of you should sit down and do it together. Sit around a table. Daddy, what do you think this answer is? And you ask this your son or your child, what do you think this answer is? Or mommy, what do you think this answer is? And sometimes when he goes to school and he's been asked that particular question, they will tell him, he will now tell you, my mom says, my dad says, my brother says. And that makes the child know that makes the teacher know that the child is engaging. So as a parent, I beg you, I know it's not easy. Don't leave that particular choice. Don't leave that particular thing for your partner to do, or your wife, your husband. And sometimes go out. If you don't have anybody to, because in this country nobody helps you look after your child. Sometimes there's an emergency, like when I wanted to give birth to my second son, I haven't made friends, but there's this particular woman, Judith. She's my friend. So she's just like in the next building. I just found her. She was passing one day in my house. We entered the same bus, and I asked, "Are you from Nigeria?" She said she's from Nigeria, and we didn't really communicate for like a month or so, but if we see each other outside, we just say hello, hi, and we exchange contacts. I know one time I've gone to visit her, you know, and when I wanted to give birth, because I wasn't so familiar with people around, she was the only one that came to my mind. My husband had friends, but they were far away, like 8 cities from where we were staying. So getting them to help us look after my son while my husband go with me to the delivery room was impossible. So she was the only person I thought about, you know, and I had to beg her, and she said no problem. I remember while I was giving birth, I was always calling her, hello, how far? How is he coping? Because she, at that time, her baby was like 2 months, because we're pregnant at the same time. Like, she was due before me. She got pregnant before me. So she had a baby and a toddler, and I had to add my own. So I was always calling her to know how she was coping with the 3 children. So it's very difficult for someone to hold your child in this country for you to do anything. You see, sometimes marriages just break out, and you see someone says, I'm a single mother. That does not mean the woman is bad. That does not mean the man is bad. It's because as a parent, having to care for 2 children, 1 child, 3 children, the situation is overwhelming for you. You cannot cope, because as a person, you don't know the capacity of things you can take. As a parent, you face anxiety, you face depression, you face a lot of mental health issues. And you see some parents who just tell you, I'm no longer doing again. I don't want that. I'll prefer to be sending child support for the woman. I prefer to be on my own. I prefer to be a single father. I prefer to be a single mother. You know, because sometimes before a child will cry. Like my kids, they don't sleep till 11, 12. Especially when they sleep in the afternoon. And sometimes in the afternoon, I try to drag that sleep away from them, but it doesn't work. They will sleep that afternoon sleep, and at night, me and my husband will just fold our hands, and we are looking at them. 12 a.m. they're still awake. Sometimes I will be shouting. You know, so imagine that kind of scenario. I am doing that, and because of where we've come from, we tolerate anything. These people here, they don't tolerate anything. Once the husband stresses them or the wife stresses them, they've packed their load and they've left. They prefer to pay child support wherever they are. But we as Africans, or we that we feel that we are very strong, we try to manage the situation. But in as much as you are trying to manage your situation, I beg you as a parent, try and look after yourself. If it's to get a childminder for 2 hours for you to go out, do window shopping, have a massage, have a manicure, pedicure, it is necessary. Because at the end of the day, what matters is how well you are living. Some parents are living with high blood pressure. Some parents are living with hypertension. To name the list. And you're looking after a child. How do you leave that child? To see you taking medications, to see you shouting, nagging, and you see when these child, they go out, they meet people, they bring up that same attitude to other people. So as a parent, try and manage yourself. Don't do things alone. If your partner, your husband, your spouse is not available, fine, you can do that, but do the one you can do and focus on yourself. If it's you want to sleep, sleep with your child close to you and rest. Don't say you want to wait for that child to sleep before you go to bed, because you'll be waiting for a very long time. These children, sometimes when they mean you, they mean you. For me, sometimes I go have a massage. Yes. Sometimes I travel to Bradford to have a massage with Pretty Salon. I will drop her link on my description box. Have a massage. Do something unusual. Go on a date with your husband. If it's to get a childminder to hold your child for 3 hours, depends on how much you're paying the childminder, you can do that. Have time for yourself and your husband. I was telling my husband, I can't remember the last time we even cuddled, or we even had time to go out, have a drink, watch movie. Because 1, we're always thinking the money. 2, the time. 3, what happens? Certain things just happen and you just flip your mind. Even when my mom was around, we went out. But because we didn't even go out often, my mom would be like, oh, you guys should go out too. I'm here to look after the children. Go out. But at the end of the day, I'll find out that I don't have that interest in going out. I just want to be at home. Because my body, my mind is already used to the situation. Do you understand me? So, as a parent, childcare is very, very expensive in the UK or any part of the world, I don't know. Some parents are going through so many mental health problems and they are just managing it. It will get to a point, it will escalate, and you cannot, that child that you are forcing yourself to look after, you cannot look after that child anymore. Because when you start having these issues, social workers, they will come for you to know how they can help you with child care. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that we parents living abroad, we Nigerians living abroad, please, I beg you, I know how much I spent on childcare. I partially regret it, but I don't regret it. As at now, I am still trying to juggle childcare because my husband is fully at home because of the lockdown and all that. So I get support to an extent because he's home, but he works online, you know. But those of you that your husband has to go to work and come back, please, I beg you, look for time for yourself. If it's to invite your parents, invite your siblings. If you have that means to do that, invite them, let them come and help you look after these children. because you don't want to be sick. This country is crazy, very crazy. This country is crazy. I mean very crazy, because it's you. Nobody knows you. Like, you say, help me hold my child. They will tell you, sorry, I have, it will lie to you. Yes, some will lie to you. I don't have chance. I don't have this one. Some will say, okay, let me help you. You know, but if you have money for a childminder, please use it, even if it's not 5 times in the week. If it's 3 times or 2 times in the week, use it. Let your money that you are working help you. Go out, have a drink, sit outside, breathe. These children will choke you with demands. My son stays in front of the fridge and says, Mommy, I want this one. I want this one. I have to be walking up and down to the kitchen. To the extent that me and my husband, we resorted to calling ourselves our names. Before, we usually say baby, dear, honey. When I say baby, my son will say, but Mommy, Daddy is not a baby. I am the baby. So when I say babe, my other son will shout, babe. When I call my husband's name, they will call my husband's name. When my husband calls me my name, these children are something else. You cannot even have romantic time with your partner. It's like they tell you, oh, it's all of us in this world together. You won't have time for yourself. When I put them to sleep, I haven't even stepped a foot away from their room. Someone that was sleeping has stood up, is at my back following me. Sometimes when me and my husband are cuddling in the night, someone has climbed into our middle and cuddled with us. Sometimes when we say we want to have a me time for ourselves, just sit down in the couch, use blankets to cover and watch a movie, that's when one will wake up. Sometimes when we say, okay, we want to have a talk as couple in the middle of the night when the kids are already sleeping, we find out that half into the discussions, we are already sleeping, because as a parent, we are already exhausted, you know. And when you're exhausted, everything you do will just be frustrating you. It's like you're putting effort into something and you're not seeing results. If you're watching this video and you feel that as a parent you're going through similar situation, because I am going through similar situations, people are saying, I can feel that people have 2 kids, 1 kid, and they say they're okay. Now I understand them. If you're coming to this country, you're traveling abroad, and you want to have more than 5 children because you feel you want to have citizenship, or you have to, my dear, is way is way beyond having a citizenship or whatever. So because child care, getting a childminder is expensive in the UK or any part of the world. I feel people back home enjoy these privileges because our parents are there, our siblings are there, they're always there to help us. But when you are here, you do everything yourself. If you have, I'm so lucky that I have a partner who does everything, like cook, wash, clean, look after the kids. Sometimes when I leave my children with him, I don't feel like I've left my kids, because I know he does it way more better than I am, or way more better than I can do. Yes. And I will not beat myself for that, because as a parent, you don't have to, one does not have to be stronger than the other one. There's no award for it. So me and my husband will work as a team to make sure that these children are well looked after. We don't put pressure on one person. I gave an instance where I said, when I'm bathing the child, he's dressing the child up. When I am dressing the child up, he's bathing the child. We do everything together. Sometimes when you come to my house, you will think that this is not my husband. The respect is there, but our mental health is important. So when he said he wants to hang out with the boys, I understand. You go. You come back when it's time for you to come back. And when I say I want to hang out, I want to hang out with the girls, he understands. And when I go, he looks after the children. So that's how parenting is supposed to be. Co-parenting does not necessarily mean that you guys have to be far apart before you can co-parent. No, you can basically co-parent, because I've seen some parents, they just leave the whole job on the woman or the man. Parenting is not slavery. You shouldn't do that. Yes. Because you see some parents now, at the end of the day, they're looking scattered, looking tired. They can't do anything for themselves. For me, when I'm braiding hair, because I'm a hairstylist, when I'm braiding hair, my husband is with the kids. He's looking after them. When I'm going for my 9-to-5 job, he's looking after the kids. And when he's going for his own job, I'm looking after the kids. And when I'm doing my online classes, he's looking after the kids. And when he's having meetings online or he's speaking with his supervisor, I'm with my kids. So parenting should be easy for the man and the woman, and not the pressure put on one of the partner. You will run mad, because these children, they have strength that we parents don't have. I hope this video is something that you liked and you enjoy watching. I would love to see an engagement on my comment section. I would like to see or read what you feel, your thoughts. If you're going through similar situations, how it has helped you, what you've coped with, because I myself, I'm still learning, so I would really enjoy reading comments about this particular discussion, because I know that it's not, this childcare issue is not for those living in the UK alone. Probably the EU, African, or any part of the world. I know parents are struggling with their children, childcare. I know. And I want you to know that you are not alone. As a mother, as a father, you are not alone. We are all alone in this particular situation, and we are all trying different mechanisms to cope with the situation. Thank you for watching this video. Please, if you haven't subscribed, I beg you, get me to a particular subscriber, like even if it's 200, even if it's 300, please, I appreciate it more if you comment. Like, yes, because you commenting makes me feel that I'm engaging you or I'm making sense in my videos. Things that I know that I'm going through or other parents are going through, and see how we can help each other as parents to cope with our mental health, which is important to us. I love you guys. Please share this video, comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you. See you in my next video. Bye.